One of President Trump's senior advisors is trying to bolster the case that massive voter fraud was committed in the November election. Senior correspondent Eric Shawn has been following this issue for us for months. He has our report tonight from New York.
Senior White House policy advisor Stephen Miller offered no evidence to back up his voter fraud claim that people are illegally bused to New Hampshire from the neighboring state of Massachusetts.
Do you have that evidence?
I've actually, having worked before on a campaign in New Hampshire, I can tell you that this issue of busing voters into New Hampshire is widely known by anyone who's worked in New Hampshire politics. It's very real. It's very serious.
Fox News could find not one case brought by New Hampshire prosecutors of voter fraud by bus. State election officials say voter fraud cases are isolated and sporadic. The four being investigated now do not involve a bus. Political insiders have long thought that some out-of-state presidential campaign workers vote in New Hampshire because all they have to do is declare a domicile. The state law says in part, quote, an inhabitant's domicile for voting purposes is that one place where a person, more than any other place, has established a physical presence. Democratic State Attorney General Joseph Foster insists it does not happen in the thousands, saying, quote, simply put, the allegations by President Trump are baseless. We know of no widespread voter fraud, nor has any been brought to our attention. It is simply untrue. The state also has a photo ID law. If voters do not have a photo ID, election officials take their picture with a Polaroid camera. The voters fill out an affidavit, and the information is followed up to verify the voters' identities. There is, though, one case of a man who drove from Carver, Massachusetts to Manchester, New Hampshire to vote illegally. But he drove his own car, no bus involved. Lawrence Schneider pled guilty to illegally voting in the 2008 and 2012 presidential elections. A former New Hampshire State Republican chairman, Fergus Cullen, is offering $1,000 to anyone who can prove a Massachusetts resident took a bus to a state to vote illegally. Mr. Cullen says no one has so far called to collect and calls Stephen Miller's claim, quote, ridiculous and complete garbage. Brett?
Eric Shawn in New York. Eric, thank you.